gives us that good health, and makes it possible for us to be here to share our view with you out there. I also want to say special Berakah to all the Catholic faithful and people of goodwill out there. A special Berakah to the entire management of High TV, especially to you, Mr. Eno Humphrey. A special Berakah to Madame Chloe, who is always behind the machines. A special Berakah to the entire team of MW. A special Berakah to my children, Eyole, Munami, and Ilu. A special Berakah to all the Berakanians out there. And a special Berakah and a take heart message to Mami Young. A special Berakah to you, and I say, as you said, if no be God, if for bad pass so just take heart, and whatever is happening, we say we are there in spirit with you. A special Berakah to this good panel that is sitting here with me, and I also want to say a special Berakah to Mother Mary Kumbe, why not our spiritual director, Reverend Father Dr. George Kezen Jingo. A special Berakah to you, and a special Berakah to the Berakanians who always see that they even though they are not here with us in the physical, but they are always there. We call them the benefactors of this ministry, who always make sure that we can sit here and then you get our voices out there. They are doing a lot of work, and we call them special Berakanians in hidden. And I also want to say a special Berakah to the Mosoke and Owonas family, and why not to the entire Readers Ministry of St. Charles Luanga, especially to you, Mr. Edmond, and to the President, Mr. Tamu Leonard. A special Berakah to you, and a special Berakah to Tala Sonita, and all those who follow us fervently, especially those who watch us live, that always give us their encouraging messages, and why not those who follow us in YouTube and in Facebook. I say a special Berakah, and thank you, Mafo, for always being there with me, and also Yenla, I'm so grateful that you are here, and not leaving out Mr. Feji Galus, who is always my troubleshooter. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I am the only cock.
Yeah. So, Mount Zion, before the song of the day, I would like you to give us a 1-minute recap.
Yes, since we are continuing with what we said last week, we are talking about deception, the sin of our time. And if we look at it in reality, deception is the sin of our time. And that is why I'll go by asking the question that we have today in the gospel that says that, Lord, do you not care? Do you not care that all this deception is happening in the world today? So I want to go by that. So last week we were talking about deception, and we highlighted, as Madam Yenla puts it, that deception, it has an audience. And we also look at it coming from the angle of pride, and we said that most people who deceive others because they want to elevate themselves, they want to go into a certain level that they are not, and so we looked at it in that light. And so today we are going to continue. We are going to focus on that again, talking about exaggeration, and we are also going to talk about misleading, because so many people, they mislead others, and so many people, they exaggerate. And that is what I can say. Since we are to continue with the topic, I will not want to go into it.
Thank you very much. Song of the day.
Aid me, Lord, to do your bidding. Aid me, Lord, to do your bidding. I am not able on my own. I am not able on my own. Aid me, Lord, to do your bidding. So aid me, Lord, to do your bidding. There were compromises, the truth. Time has come for you to send me, Lord. Please aid me, Lord, to do your bidding. So aid me, Lord, to do your bidding. For I am not able on my own. I am not able on my own. Please aid me, Lord, to do your bidding. So aid me, Lord, to do your bidding. Please, Martha, let me just give a small rundown of what we had today, a small meditation or reflection. For the Jewish people, the sea represented a great enemy that the Lord conquered when he brought his people out of Egypt. That you can get from Exodus chapter 14 verses 15 to 31. It is also the abode of the Leviathan, the sea monster in the book of Job. Job chapter 3 verses 18 or Psalms 74 verse 14. A great abyss with tremendous force. The analogy represents the different troubles that the Christian may face in life. It could be marital turbulence, ill health, insecurity, etc. You have a lot to put. This occurrence unsettles lives and makes life difficult, but God assures us that even amidst this trouble, once Jesus steps into our boat, into our lives, we are awake by Jesus Christ in us, provided we awake him, the storm will be calm. All we need is to trust and obey. So we have so many troubles because we do not trust and we do not obey.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Zion. So, televiewers, like my able director said, we're going to base our discussions today on exaggeration and misleading. I'm going to begin normally with Miss Yela. So, Miss Yela, today I would like us to start with this exaggeration because I was like exchanging views in the house with my junior siblings, and it reached a point where one of my boys said this exaggeration can be positive. So I don't know if it's true because once, as for me, I always seen exaggeration as being a negative thing in the society. But discussing with them, I got another view of it. So I want to hear from you if exaggeration can be positive.
Thank you, Mafo. I like your name, Mafo. Okay, when we talk of exaggeration, what are we exaggerating, Madam Eposi, if we are talking of positive or negative? Is it love? Is it hate?
Let's look at I want us to maybe look at it in a wider form because we were basing it on
Deception.
Okay.
Telling truth or telling lies, and he was like, he can exaggerate just for you to understand that he's trying to tell you the truth.
Okay, I understand. Okay, there is also something they call a true lie. For instance, there can be a situation which you have to lie to save a situation. And then to an extent you go along exaggerating your lies, but it comes now in a positive way because you are saving a situation. Like what your junior said in the house, to me, at times exaggeration can be positive. But looking at deception, again, it all depends. That's why I asked the question, are we exaggerating love or hate? Are we exaggerating when we gossip about somebody? Is it in a positive way or in a negative way? Because when we talked of gossip here last time and the audience, so it depends. And I quoted, for instance, I take Auntie Eposi. For you to just come and they say Auntie Eposi has stolen something. Like you, I am Mr. Galus, it will be difficult for us to even if the person exaggerates it. But then there are certain people that when they say things about them and then they exaggerate it to an extent, you know that no, it is negative. So to me, it just depends on how you take it. If it is on the positive side, how you exaggerate somebody's love for you, how you exaggerate somebody's trust for you, how you exaggerate, the way you interact with people, the way you commune with people, it should be positive, not negative. So to me, I think they are correct.
Okay, so Mount Zion.
Yes, just as she has based the exaggeration looking at the positive. And I think when we exaggerate with respect to positive is because we want to create an impression which is like bring out something good, to motivate, to make the person to be able to say go into that particular focus and then to buy the idea. So but you have, so when we come to, she has just given an insight, but when we look at it today, because we are talking about deception, sin of our time, so when we look at it today, we realize that you have very few people who exaggerate as a result of motivational purpose. Majority of the people today, they are exaggerating with respect to deception. Yes, because when we look at it, you realize that something like, to exaggerate it is to make something seems to be very large. You try to, like, something that may be when you can, you, for instance, let me say somebody may prepare food, and then maybe a child, then after eating the food, you tell the child that, oh, this your food is wonderful, even though you know that it is not what you are saying.
Yeah.
You say that this food is wonderful, this is the food, this kind of food, I've never eaten it before. That's just to motivate the child, to see that the child should continue to prepare food. So with that, now you see now that that's motivational factor for that particular child. So you are doing something that is good. But now when we look at deception in that exaggeration, you see people say so many things, they say so many things in order to make sure that their story should be looked upon like truth. So they exaggerate. You may do something that, if somebody, let me say somebody says it the way it happened, the person, other people will say that no, but humanly at least it is a fault that anybody can maybe make. But now the way you exaggerate it, people now start looking at it that no, she was not supposed to have done that and things like that. So you see now you create a certain impression to those people, and then now you realize that in that what happened, you have brought in deception, and now with respect to that deception, you see now that so many people now, they are looking at it negatively. Yes, so that is why you see at times people exaggerate. When they exaggerate because they want to paint somebody black. Yes, so most often you have that positive, because in anything that we do, there must always be that advantage and disadvantage. But now that positive and negative. But now if you look at it in this particular word, this exaggeration, if we look at it today, what happens in the society is the negative. People exaggerate for negative impression, negative purpose. So it's not out of positive.
When ladies talk, you cannot talk too much again. So the exaggeration, I'm standing side by side with Madam
Yenla.
It has two sides. It's one coin with two sides.
Yeah.
So, you know, in this word, these are words that come from foreign people. They are not our thing. In my own area that I come from Hong Kong on a mission, when you speak and which is true, you don't say it two times. Truth does not repeat. Are you understanding? Truth cannot repeat. Anybody wants to repeat, wants to do what they call embellish, and that's why the gospel today is Madam Azar, the gospel is chocolate coated.
It's coded.
Coated with chocolate. That's embellish. They want to embellish it so that you can accept it. When they take the things of the tongue, cast out demons, miracles, they embellish it, but inside it is it. That's why last time I told you that the first strategy of the devil is what? Look. Take a look. So in this word of exaggerating or exaggeration, there are a lot of words to it. And I start with Madam Yemla because it's one coin with two sides. Which side are you?
Yeah.
They came to Jesus and asked Jesus, should we not pay to Herod? Jesus said, turn this side of the coin. Look at the coin. He said, turn the other side. Whose head is there?
Yeah.
Pay to Herod was meant to Herod, and pay to God was meant to God. The Caesar.
Yeah.
So you don't have to emphasize too much. You don't have to when you emphasize, you are distorting the information. That you are building information. You want to put chocolate, you want to put butter there. You are overstating. They amplify. Over exaggerate means amplify. Me as a sound engineer, when you amplify, you want the thing to go far, and that's why this Father Morris, one Nigerian Father Morris said, when the devil is the mice, he speaks on the microphone, it makes too much noise. That is exaggerating, and you think that is good because you're using a microphone. Most of us are using a microphone. We exaggerate. We magnify. We misrepresent. But the reality is that if it is true, you cannot repeat it. Truth does not repeat itself. Once it is said, it just go in. So that's how I think we should look at it. And therefore, all of us, we should come back to our senses, Madam Director, as the prodigal son, and speak the truth, and then the truth will set us free. You cannot repeat it. They say in French that la vérité a le coup de la mensonge a le coup de longue jambe, mais ne peut pas courir plus que la vérité qui a le coup de jambe. Are you understand what I'm saying? That untrue, false information goes too wide, farther, but truth is slow, but it's sure, and will come with time. We know the real thing.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gali. So, Ms. Yela, you know, now in our society, we young people feel like being misled is the new trend. I don't know how to put this question. Okay, just give young people an advice, because at times some of us don't know that what we are being told is a misleading message. How do we identify when we are being misled?
Okay, before I come to that, I want to thank Mr. Gallows when he used some certain words like magnify. Some of us know how to magnify love. We know how to exaggerate love. And I was asking myself this question when he was talking, like, why can't we, like, instead of you magnifying jealousy, hatred, gossip, why can't you focus that strength on loving people, on showing them love, being in union with them? Talking about our youth, I still have a problem with this deception, Madame Eposi. It still comes to your audience. Because at the end of the day, Mount Zion, Kelly, you will see that now, these youths even are being deceived by older people. If you look at it critically. Why? At times, like I said last week, when we find ourselves in those audiences, you begin having jealousy for your friend. You will not say that Kelly and I cannot be friends. You want to start making friends with older women or older people, thinking that they are better, they are instead the worst. Because they themselves, the kind of information that they carry about young people, you even be shocked to hear what one mama will say about you. You will even be like thinking that, man, is it that this person is using my spirit? Like some people will ask and I say, they go take my face, go do something, come back. So at the end of the day, I still focus on the audience as far as the youths are concerned. You have to mind your audience. As for me, Gillian, I have to mind my friends, I mind my audience, I mind the people that I talk to. That's just all, because there is nothing you can do. You cannot choose. You are the one to choose your kind of friends that you want. If you want to be making friends with people of your age group, your classmates, your neighbors, it all depends on you. It depends on how they are impacting your life, be it positive or negative. So to me, it all depends on you, because looking at it today, most of our youth are being misled by older people, by our parents back there. You will see somebody, you will see a young girl doing something. The person comes maybe to your own house and do something that is wrong, but since you are benefiting something from this person, you cannot say it, but deep within you know that the person is doing something wrong. You is an elderly person, you cannot tell the person. So to me, the only advice I will give to the young people is that you have to mind your audience, mind your friends, mind the people you interact with, so that you will not be misled.
Yes, thank you. I'm happy for what Madam Yenla said. Before I come to that, let me just conclude with this exaggeration. Exaggerate, stretch beyond the truth, which makes something seem larger. It may better the situation or it may worsen the situation. So when we come to what Madam Yenla was talking today, it's really true that the older people are really misleading the younger generation. I come with this with respect to when I see the way public exams are being handled. I see it, this particular question, the whole of mass, I was looking at this question that, Lord, do you not care? Lord, do you not care? I met one child who wrote first school leaving certificate. I asked that child, how did you write? He said, I wrote well. But what was very disheartening to me was that the invigilator told me to give my paper to another child to copy. That because of obedience that I have grown in, that is why I had to do that. So that is the highest level, Miss Yenla, when it comes to misleading.
Yeah.
So when you talk about the older generation misleading the younger generation, I see it clear. And when you look at it, these are teachers. These are teachers that people pay money to make their children to be upright. They sit in the class, they pass their time doing other things. Like today we have WhatsApp and everything. You will not make sure that you finish your syllabus, and then you come in examination area, you come in the environment, you come and you are fidgeting and doing all sorts of malpractice because you want children to pass an exam showing that this school has 100%, of which those children have been misled of having that particular certificate of which they don't merit it. So where are we going to? That is misleading. So you see, you mislead the children, you mislead the parents, you mislead the whole society. And we sit and we think that we are doing something. At first, I think that teachers were the people, they used to call them people of noble profession. But today, they have abused that particular address that they were being addressed. Because at times I used to go to places, I stroll, maybe an examination may be occurring, I just go there to see what is happening. Yes, if you see what happens in exams, then the other day I also went to see
the GC exam say.
Okay.
I saw it on Facebook how a teacher was misleading some young girls that when he sleeps with you, something like that. He slept with this girl and I think the girl died, something like that. It's like the girl died, something like that. I don't know. That when he sleeps with you, he'll give you questions for you to go and write the exam, and he was being caught.
He will ensure that you have from 6 papers.
Yeah, I think they caught the guy right.
That's the highest level of, I don't know how
See,
to say the word.
I want to give a practical example, Kelly, in the Readers Ministry. I remember there was a time when we had these new lectors, these young ones that just came. Mount Zion insisted on our dressing style. I'm giving a practical example. What happened? Yeah. It's not like it is something that I had. I was there. By then, I was still the president. She insisted and was cautioning us on how to dress and come to church. Even on weekdays, when you're entering the church compound, mind the way you dress, because anything can happen. They can ask you to read. There might be no vestment. Even the hair you wear to read. And I remember there is one mama in the group. She kept on saying they should allow the children to dress the way they want because her time has passed. Now young picking them, they leave them, they dress anyhow they want to dress. They give for what? They never why they give for look old or why they want to say me they look old. That's misleading. That's deception. But I want to say
think the person added that so they will not get married.
Yeah. So
yes.
Yeah. So you are misleading the children to dress half naked to church because you want them to get married. Is that the question? But then I'll come back and say, mind you, when you start saying misleading people when it comes to the things of God, because a day will come when you will stand for, and things will start happening. You will never understand why these things are happening. When you sit back now and reflect, they say an unexamined life is not worth living. When you start examining what is happening, why are things happening like this to me, then you will start knowing that, well, maybe it's because of this or that. Because to me, that was the highest form of misleading children, that they should be dressing half naked, they should put on red hair, whatsoever hair they want to put on, because if they come there, how will they get married if they don't dress half naked? Why should you be doing that? That's deception. You are misleading them. And thank God, at the end of the day, she kept quiet. They corrected themselves. It is not for her, it is for them. She's a mother of 3. What is she losing or gaining from you young girls, apart from, like you said in the beginning, leading us in the right track? But you, a mother of about 50 years, telling people to dress half naked, misleading them because of marriage. I'm giving practical examples. But then I thank God these children told the line and they're doing very well today and they are fine. So
thank God for grace.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Galuwa,
I'm coming because Christian is not chocolate. I'll continue that. You see, very good people, bad things happen to them.
Yeah.
And I'm going to categorically tell you people that in this panel, the director will not tell me, will not write that wrong. We have treated the domestic church. If there is war outside, then the inner self is already in war.
Yeah.
If we cannot have peace outside of us, it means that inside of us, that inner part of you is not in peace. The gospel of today, Zion, are you reading that way now? Jesus Christ was sleeping, oh. The boat was just boom. The storm was getting the boat up. The disciple asked Jesus Christ, you don't care because you knew that he's the only one who has the power to calm the storm. He's the man that they have put all their hopes in him. The domestic church cannot be taken away. Zion can explain that 24 hours or non-stop. Nobody should accuse the teacher. The teacher has a percentage of it. Yes. But the bigger teacher
is the domestic
church.
That's true.
So if in the house your parents are not upright, you will copy, that child will copy what the parents are doing. And it will show outside. They say when character, they the Botox. No matter how long it will stay, they will see her.
Mr. Galus, do you believe in this saying that you can take a horse to the stream, but you cannot force that horse?
And that is why when the domestic has impacted you, now it is a choice that you have to make to do what. But if you know, I'm not saying all the choices are wrong, but at least 80% will be correct. If only one is not correct, then we can say okay, good. Not everybody can be correct. After all, you have the parable of the wheat. Christ told us that don't remove anything. Time will come out remove them. And the young people is being misled by older people. No true. It's also because the young people, the life word is
they are the audience. You said it.
Yeah, they're the audience.
They are the audience of the older people.
When they come, they say this is our generation.
Yes.
But no, they didn't during the past generation.
Yes.
What happened to the past generation? What happened to the disciples? Let me tell you that before Christ there were people. So when Christ came and told the Pharisees that you cannot do like this, continue like this, people want they don't want to be in the box. They want to be in the box. You know what I'm saying? They want to think out of the box. Pharisees ask you that what were you first doing in the box? They don't have critical thinking. They want to go and write GC, it's just pass. GC cannot give you work. Your diploma is a piece of paper. You must transform it. You must transduce it to something thinking your fingers can do. Your brain and fingers will work. Otherwise, you put the paper that the paper is not active. It's you, the human being, who is active. So you can learn all book to PhD square, and your hands and your mind cannot do critical work. Then it's not work. So I think about to Yola. Yola say because the young people die the Now syndrome.
No.
I want another, and that's why the mice are deceiving them. You know what I call the mice now? Those people, they take the microphone and shout, they put speaker. Only 4 people or 2 people. But you are hearing at my lingo. You are hearing the right at my 17.
Yes.
They will talk with the microphone. No. Jesus Christ speak in a solemn way and call the disciples and preach the gospel, the parable to them. He will call them and talk to them. So please, I don't want to be long, but you have to be very careful with what you listen to.
Yes.
Where are you putting your ear?
Listen to?
What are you looking?
Yeah.
After that, look is very important. That's why in the Genesis chapter 3, verse 1 to 6, the devil come and say, the someone are not chopper. Look here.
Kelly, let me just add. For instance, now, I like to give practical example. You can be having a friend now. You're struggling with school and business, and that friend needs £1 million. You think she'll come and ask you? You think she'll to say Kelly, no, if you get £1 million, no. You know, if you see audience, you know, believe. But they are age mate, your classmates, everything. You people are the same when it comes to certain levels. But then they'll prefer those older people who mislead them, like he said. They prefer those ones who will stand and shout and mislead them. So I'll always say this: mind your audience. Mind the people you listen to. Mind the people you talk to. Mind the people you run to when you have issues. Like Father Edwin said it today when he was preaching, that he was talking about the storm That there are some of us who have storms but will run to the wrong audiences.
Yes.
You have a problem, you think that you are telling somebody, the person is your friend, you don't even know. The person will go and magnify it. I like using that word, magnify your problem, and then turn it again against you, and you become a bad person. He cautioned us today, when those storms come, mind the people you run to. When the disciples were there and the storm came, they did not run to themselves, they ran to Jesus. You understand?
And
when the storm came to Job in the first reading, he did not run to the wife or the children, he ran to God. So when the storm comes, mind the people you run to. The youth should be careful.
And then you people in the Catholic Church, how many people in the main novena? My dad post is over there with the Blessed Sacrament every Sunday. How many young people are there? Very few.
Yeah.
But then now the church is there today in the second mass. I saw about 800 people in the church. But when they call for Blessed Sacrament,
yeah.
no, when they call Blessed Sacrament, they put it there. You don't see up to 100 people in the church.
Yeah.
And when you thank God that didn't come in now, there's very few people on Sundays. Do you know that is a source and summit of what you are doing? And therefore that's where you will take some of your blessing and go back home with. But you think that it is foolishness. But anyway, I think that we will come back to our senses. One day we'll just keep talking.
So Miss Yena, when we were talking, you mentioned something about examining our life.
Yeah.
It's something that we young people of today
We
don't
do
want
it.
to
Yes.
indulge in. And let me also give you a practical example. The whole of this week my health has not really been the best, but we thank God. While in the hospital doing consultation, I was holding my phone, but I realized that I was not in that phone like when you say somebody's engulfed to his or her phone. I was holding that phone, and to be honest, I experienced silence, and I had to examine my life. It will surprise you to know that there are things in the hospital with all the crowd, running, noise, crying of children. I had to experience silence, and I examined my life. Only when I was sitting there, I had to take a pen and write down some things that I've experienced, the bad, the good, and things that I have to work on. Silence is something we have treated on this panel. And to be honest, many people are scared of silence. Some people don't want to even listen to themselves.
Yeah.
That's why you see there's a lot of negative energy out there. They don't want to believe that this is who they are. At the end of the day, they turn that energy and make you a bad person.
Sure.
Have you
ever witnessed a situation where you talk to yourself alone?
No, but that person will tell you we treated you 14 days that week.
The doctor had to call my name like 3 times before
Yes.
I got out.
You were not there.
Situation.
You
I
were
was not
like,
there.
yes. Maybe there was something
there.
running in your mind. It is very, very important, Kelly, for you as a human being to always examine your life. I said it here last week, and even though Mr. Gallus was kind of like, I said to me, when we were talking about deception, lies telling, gossip, and all those, I sat back, I looked, and I said there are people that I've blocked from my contact. And he quoted an example. There are people that he will just keep for you to change. Yeah. Same with us. If he had not examined his life and his relationship with people, he would have identified somebody to solve them. So an unexamined life is not worth living. You cannot be living a life as a young person when you don't go to your private room to meditate, to pray, to ask God for direction. Then why are you living? There's no need for you to be living. You have to sit to examine your life. You pray, you ask God to direct you. Even if the storm comes, no matter how powerful it is, make sure you always sit back, because like I said, at times we are the cause of those storms. I gave an example. When you start misleading those children, like the Bible said, it is preferable that they should even tie your neck with a stone and throw you, rather than misleading those young ones. God is watching, and like I said, the things of God, mind the way you treat them. So to me, there is nothing that I will ever do without examining myself. I always like.
They hit the boat, and the man was against Jesus Christ. But when they hit the boat, he was the first to shout, "Jesus!" When the boat hit the very elastic, because they were going to sing. But the man said, "Who is Jesus? Who is God?" and so on and so forth. So don't call God's name in vain. But God will always send you signs to remind you that you are in the wrong direction.
And even when it comes to our relationship, like Father Maxe quoted on Friday during Mass, whether it's your boyfriend or your fiance or your husband, you are a married man here. I think there is a time where you and your wife, people like fall out, you quarrel. But then you don't just go to conclusions and say, don't just like, she's a bad woman, or I should send her away. I mean, you sit, you examine. At times, maybe you are even the problem. At times, she is not the problem. But you on your own, having a misunderstanding with your spouse or whosoever, sit and ask yourself, Kelly, but then what happened? where did I go wrong, why did this happen. Even if you don't amend, make sure that you try to ameliorate your ways, so that in case you fall apart and you're going to another person, there are some mistakes that you will not like try to do them again. So to me, there is nothing that you will do that I will not tell you to have self-examination. Even if it is your relationship with whoever, it is very, very important to always examine yourself. Be it married couples, whether it's your fiance, whether it's your boyfriend, make sure you examine yourself first. When crisis comes, when those storms come, don't always blame the other party. Go deep, have a rethink. Like you said, you were lost. I mean, go to, is it a Mr. Goji? Try to think, go into them. I mean, and then you come out now with what you think you can ameliorate, and then better yourself as a woman or as that young guy out there.
Thank you very much, Mount Zion.
Yeah, so just as Mr. Galus was talking about people wanting to have GC, people want to. So like today, we see that the world has passed the stage where they ask you, what do you have? Yeah. Today, the world is asking, what can you do? Not what do you have? Yeah. So those people who are being misled, thinking that you have a certificate that does not define who you are, then you are already in that deception. Yeah. So you should not be deceiving yourself. You should focus on what you know that you can you can add substance to what is happening in the world practically, and not getting certificates. Then also looking at this misleading, we see it in another aspect of fraud. Yeah. You see some people, they are very good at frauding. Yes, they can even they can even, whether it's,
they can forge your signature.
Yes. You come and look at it, you don't even know that you are not the one who signed it. The thing now will be, how did I even sign this document? Yeah. So when you read the document, that is when now you cannot process in your head that you saw any document like that.
They call it deep fake.
Yes. Deep fake. So that's criminal deception. Yes, you really you carry out some, and all this is because of what? You know that you do not deserve that thing, so you decide now to fraud so that you can so that it can come to you. And most often we see it when people, they fraud to get money. They go and imitate people's signatures because they want to be signatories to whatever. So with all that, that is another way of misleading, because you can come, maybe you are working in a financial institution. I come now, maybe I forge somebody's signature, and then that money is given to me. Then after that, what happens? You realize now that they come now and they are accusing you. Sure. So that's deception now. Then you cannot even know how it came about. So we see it in that other light, misleading also in that fraudulent manner.
How about these guys who go and call us at MTN? Start telling you they have sent you some monies, it was a mistake, all those things.
It's all deception.
It's all deception
and fraud.
Yeah.
Madam Kelly, no. I want to be sincere that what you are putting on the table that is a very difficult and frightening topic.
Yeah.
It's frightening. Do you know that truth is nakedness?
Of course.
Truth is nakedness. Nobody, very few people can focus on nakedness.
Yes.
And that's why nakedness is frightening.
Yes.
I asked that question during Lent this year.
Who tied that small cloth?
Who tied that small piece around Jesus' waist? Up to now.
Nobody.
I have a wonderful price for you. I'm still waiting. The price is, you will not imagine.
It has been extended.
Yeah, I'm extending it. Because when they don't respond, we'll extend it. Because truth is naked, and that's why it's killing this generation. What they are doing deep fake. They are just trying to, what was in the old, to embellish it, magnify it, as Madam Posi read, that to think that if you over magnify is truth. No. My dear people, you made a story. Madam Posi would do that in 2014, the desert week. When you go to the desert, you encounter God. Each person, each soul, each person wants to go to the desert to encounter God. Even Christ went there to encounter God. So when you read it, this desert is also a place that you come face to face with the reality of life. Well, I will not exaggerate because this thing is very passionate, and I will just end my 10 seconds. Madam Posi, you are a director. I cannot challenge you, but I have lifted from what can you do to what are you doing. Because that is generation. What are you doing? There's a person who is behind this camera. She's a lady who has been there for years and doing the job with so passion. What is her purpose in life? What's her passion in life? You do it. Don't ask someone to ask, what can you do? What are you doing? What are you doing? We are 8 point something billion on earth. It will not fall from from heaven like manna again. Every time God uses the time to give people something, try to something with your fingers and your brain.
So, Priscilla, you have something to say? No. So, Mount Zion, please, so looking at everything that we have said, you have brought out good points. So, but how can we walk away from deception?
Wow.
Yes, walking away from deception, I think that the first thing is that acknowledgement that you have been carrying out this particular practice. So you acknowledge that what you have been doing is not correct. When you acknowledge like that, then now you can go into prayers, you can go into reading your Bible, and then trying to have some quiet time for meditation. And then you also read books of other people who have been having, like saints. We have so many saints that you have saints, you have martyrs. You look at other people's life that they have been able to pass through this world in all this. So it is not like you are the only one that you are going through all this. You realize that some people have also lived this life and they were victorious even amidst all what is happening. So just like you, because the highest point of deception today is that you cannot live as a good person in this world. So people always say that each say if he really be so way in a commit sin and things like that. So that is the deception of the evil one, the unseen serpent, telling you that it is impossible. But that is, with God everything is possible. And like God said to St. Paul, that my grace is sufficient for you. So just you putting that effort, as we have always said, God blesses the effort and he will grant you the graces you need to be able to move up to him. Because like one time one of my colleagues said that we can never be holy. I told him that no. I told her that no. If we cannot be holy, Jesus wouldn't have said that be holy as your heavenly Father is holy. So what you need to do is just to focus, put that effort, and then God grants you the grace while you continue to move from strength to strength. So it's not for you to remain there and then you are looking at it that you want to be holy. What you need to do is, as Mr. Galus has put it, get into work and start doing what it takes you to go to that holiness. So with all that, when we start doing all that, we have time for silence, and that silence, we talk about that perfect contrition, examination of conscience, doing a stock taking. When you do that frequently, you will see yourself moving away from what you have been doing, and then also getting away from people who are deceptive, those people, those companions that you know that. So you have to make sure that you get away from them, because they will always come back to remind you of that situation, and then try to see that since you have come out from that comfort zone, they'll try to tell you that you should go back to the comfort zone, but you have to stand your ground.
I want to help this text, what Bible have been saying, concluding with the Bible. Read that. Colossians chapter 3 verse 8. Take it down.
Colossians chapter 3 verse 7 to 8. Right?
Read that.
For a time you followed this way and lived in such disorders. Well then, reject all that. Anger, evil intentions, malice, and let no abusive words be heard from your lips.
This is say what? God prescribes for us what we know. And we were in the hospital last week. They gave you a prescription. If you don't follow a prescription, you will not get well. So when God has prescribed, my wife is a medical doctor. So when she prescribed, go and take 2 tablets for malaria in the morning and 2 tablets for malaria in the evening. You don't take, malaria go away. You know, go. So what we are asking is a question that God has answered in the human manual, in the human compass to navigate in this world. You must accept the prescription of God for you to live well. I said it when we went to visit Madame Mio. God prescribed. You must accept. And you don't have to accept, you are going the wrong direction. That is the prescription. So I'm sorry to say that
this is a miserable life. Yes.
Thank you very much. Time we're left with just about 2 to 3 minutes, so I'll play on you guys to conclude. Mr. Fetchikas.
Okay, I want to conclude in this very line I started that said that all this in this world like this will not be chocolate for you. It happened to Job back to back. The Job did not give up.
Yes.
He stood his ground. It happened to Joseph. Joseph, when he came, he followed the God's way. Understand? But at the end of the day, he will be victorious. It happened to Daniel. He was put in the lion den, but nothing happened to him. It's your way. Your character is your destiny. And forget the one person know that it's your destiny. It's not that we don't go papa. It's your character. When you change, as I said, you will come back to the right way and you will see it. But it will not be chocolate for you, but it will never give up. Because what I'm speaking every day is eternity. And eternity is real. And when you are there, you will enjoy life. But when you deceive people, you are conscious that you are deceiving people. Yeah. And that will never be arrested. And so the God said in another person will not deny that. You are restless until you rest in the Lord.
Thank you very much, Miss Nina.
Okay, I will give my last words based on this inspirational words from a priest, Father Ari. I don't know him. They just sent to me. He said today, I quote, "If the negative and derogatory things you spread so fast about others are also spread by others about you, will you be comfortable?" The answer, my friend, is living in all men. That's all I have. Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you, Madam Director.
So if we look at it, deception is one of the storm that is in our various lives. And so, like the disciples, awaken the Jesus in you. Ask the Lord the question that, do you not care that this is occurring in my life? Like the disciples say, Master, you know the mind, how we near for capsize. So let us be able to look at ourselves, not only deception, but whatever is happening in our lives, we realize that all that is happening because we are not going to the Jesus. We are not awakening the Jesus in us, and then we are struggling to get solutions from other areas. And that is why at times where we go to, we are more deceived than even before we even came there. So I think it is not for us to go to people when you have troubles. Always go to Jesus Christ and awaken the Christ in you. Ask yourself this question: how fervent, how faithful have I been as a friend to Jesus Christ? And if you see that you have not been that better friend, then it is only for you to see how to ameliorate that friendship, and then you move on. And I think that your storm is going to be calm.
Thank you very much, Mount Zion, Ms. Yela, and Mr. Fejigal. It's always a pleasure to have you here on the show. Televiewers, if you came in late or you totally missed the whole program, you can catch our rebroadcast every Saturday at 10 p.m. Gathered with everything my guests have said, I'll still end by telling you life is about choices. Some will be proud of, some we may not be, and some will haunt us throughout our life. But then the message is, we choose to be who we want to be. It is on this note that I draw the curtains on today's edition. Kelly Mafote is my name, and I've been your host. Remember,
Berakah.